Unfortunately, Buddy Rosenberg cannot attend tonight. But, as a special guest, well, let me start from this. As you all know, Camp Chaverim had some very, very interesting guests this summer, but none of them, absolutely none of them, will be as interesting as tonight's guest of honor. You see, camps have been around for thousands and thousands of years, but tonight we have the honor of meeting one of the oldest men on the planet. I'd like to introduce to you the world's oldest camper. He's coming. He's coming. Can I give you a hand, sir?
You just did. First and second outsourcing.
Careful here, we don't know. Well, I'll try not to say this too loud, but rumor has it he's over 5,000 years old. Shh. Are you okay?
Of course I'm okay. I want to be here.
Well.
Where's the other microphone?
Where's the other? Alright, how you feeling? Wow. You look like, wow. You look as young as a spring chicken. Can I take off your hat, sir?
You could.
Oh, thank you.
Because the inside is
Oh, that's better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep it here nice, safe, and sound.
What sound?
Sound?
What?
You don't hear the sound?
What is, you make a sound?
Not me.
Oh, alright.
Anyhow.
Anyway.
Well, Mr. Rosenberg.
Yeah? Can I know her? Are you alright, mister? You sound as good as me. Well, hold on a minute and we'll see what we can do. Hold on. You did very well. Shall we try this again?
That stunt has been practiced 75 times in Hollywood, and he wasn't even hurt. Thank you.
Do not try this at home.
Kids never, ever practice at home without parental supervision. Now.
No. Are we gonna? Are you sure it's safe?
Is it safe? All right. Anyhow. Well.
Thanks for joining us.
Mr. Rosenberg.
That's me.
The question is out.
What question?
Everyone really wants to know the truth. How old are you?
It's been a while. I'd say somewhere near 5,000.
5,000 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. Kenina Hurricane Yearbo.
They used to say I've native Western.
Oh, well, that's inappropriate there.
Huh.
Maybe in terms of thousands of years. Okay, anyhow.
120,000 years.
That's nice now.
It's a nice round number.
Well, let's start off the night with a good start. Perhaps you can tell us your secret. This is really bothering everyone.
The secret?
Yes, the secret. What has kept you alive for all these years and centuries and millennia?
Eh?
Millennia.
Millennia what?
Anyhow, what kept you alive all these years?
What's kept me alive all these years is will to live.
Wow! This person is such a beautiful person. Now you know the secret of survival. Do you hear such a thing? Will to live. That keeps a person alive.
Not the will to live.
The will to live?
Dr. to live.
Dr. to live?
Dr. William to live. A genius.
Oh,
Will to live was
Dr. Will to live. Oh.
Yeah, Dr. William to live. My mission knows medicine all these years.
Whew, I gotta meet this guy. Well, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your daily diet. In order to keep alive all these years, you probably have to have lots of fruits and vegetables.
No, I can't eat the fruits and vegetables. No.
Really? Why not?
I don't know. There's too much sugar. There's too much spices. I can't. No fruits and vegetables. That's
Spices and vegetables?
That's it. No fruits and vegetables.
Oh, so I suppose you probably have like lots of starches and things like that.
No, starch is no good for you. It gets into the blood. It can break it down. Especially a guy my age can't break down the starch. No starches.
No starches. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine you probably eat a lot of bread products. Bread.
No bread. No, nothing like that.
No bread either?
No bread.
So you must have like a lot of dairy things with lots of milk in it?
No, milk is no good for the stomach.
Milk's not good?
No.
You would know. Well, I imagine you probably have a lot of basic staples.
Yeah, that's right. I eat staples.
You eat... No, I mean...
They're high in iron. They're gewaldig for you. The munch a few, they're a little crunchy. They're good. Staples.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Maybe I should try some. Well,
Yeah. And then.
What do you really eat every day?
Well, the secret: cool mountain water.
Cool mountain water.
10 degrees below room temperature.
I knew it.
Just cool mountain water.
Everyone would have guessed it, right?
Cool mountain water. Just that.
That's it? Nothing else?
That and 2 hot dogs.
2 hot dogs! You mean you eat 2 hot dogs every day?
Yeah.
And
You think I live just on mountain water?
oh, well,
All these years I've been living on that. Not going to live just drinking water all day.
well,
There's ice in it, maybe that's different.
let's change the topic a little bit.
Okay.
Let's get back to the program that we're all here for.
Okay.
You're classified as the world's oldest camper.
Okay.
Well, basically, I'd like to know, in the past 5,000 years,
Okay.
how has camping changed?
5,000 years. That's a long time. At least that's what they told me. How has camping changed in 5,000 years? Basically, it hasn't.
It hasn't.
No, I remember way back when the first camp I was in 5,000 years ago. Oh, that was wonderful. But it was basically camps then and camps now are pretty much the same. We got the same round buildings, the same hot buildings, the same hot. There's no coffee space. There was no coffee space back then either. The beds were just as hot as rocks then as they are now. And basically it was the same. I mean, I remember way back when the first camp, though, that was good. The first camp that was ever made, that was Adam and Chava made the first camp, and it was the first grounds they opened up. They had it for about a week, but for that week it was Mamash Gan Eden. And then the other problem was they had to leave because they had some problems with some snakes over there, so they had to leave. But they run a tough business over there. The Adam and Chava, they ran similar to the way things are run around here. The Adam ran a tight ship, but of course the secret to their success. The secret to their success, of course, was there was no messing with the missus. So there was.
No messing.
You gotta be careful in those camps in the olden days.
Well, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the activities back then. I mean, were things similar to now? What activities did you do in those old-time camps?
Well, let's see, what activities? Well, what did I write down? We had hunting for food, checking each other for lice.
Checking each other for lice?
Yeah, it was a little more fun those days. We didn't have the camp nurse wasn't there, so we had, everyone was just check for lice.
Wow, sounds like fun.
Oh yeah. Well, I got at least one applause back there. What other activities we had? I don't know. What did I write down?
I don't know. Did you have something similar to what we call CDD then?
Oh, definitely. We didn't have letters in those days, though, so we called it Ichton bag.
Ichton what?
Ichton bag.
Ichton bag.
You betcha.
Oh.
And we made, we made pretty much useful things. The cigarette things that you made those.
You mean people smoke them?
No.
So what did they make them for?
I don't know, the same reason they made them here. I'm not sure.
Oh, I see.
Well, sort of something to do.
Well, perhaps you can tell us a little bit about the trips back in camps in those days. Like, where would you go to go on a trip someplace?
Oh, we went to this park.
Park?
Yeah, we went, we had fun, we ran, there were dinosaurs. There was a lot of fun there.
What type of park? What's it called?
Oh, something with the giraffe. Jurassic, yeah, that was it. That was the name of the park, yeah. I said, these guys remember it more than I do, yeah, that's it.
Wow, there must be that on as well.
Yeah, well, it was fun.
So, what do you do in those days by night activities? I mean, what do you do after supper? I mean, wasn't something exciting then?
Basically, keeping away the bats. Rabbi Schwartz wasn't around 5,000 years ago. But, oh yeah, well, we had a game, basically the precursor to many of your night activities started 5,000 years ago.
Really? Like what?
Like Pictionary, for example.
You had Pictionary back then?
Well, we didn't have words. Basically, that's how we communicated. We drew pictures, and people would know what we were talking about. And you know, that was the precursor to hieroglyphics. Now, I don't know. Nowadays, they seem to think that they're still with the pictures. I don't know. Why don't you use words? It works a lot better. But that was Pictionary. Other things we had, there was charades.
Charades? Wow.
Yeah, basically a lot of that's when guys were being chased by like dinosaurs or something. So sort of everyone, they didn't want to make too much noise because the dinosaur was behind them. So it was like,
wow, sounds exciting.
mm-hmm.
Well, tell me, did you have something like color war back then? I mean, how could you have war without color war?
We had war back then. Yeah, we had war. It was lots of different colors. We had war, we had fighting, we had cheers too.
You had cheers?
Oh yeah.
Wow, what type of cheers did you have?
Well, it was not in a language you could really understand. So it's I don't know, but I can sing it to you if you want.
Oh, please do. We're all
You wouldn't
fascinated.
understand what it's a language, I don't know. It's you heard of Sanskrit?
Well.
You heard of cuneiform?
Well.
It's neither of those.
Oh.
Okay, no, it's a rough language called the sand language, which was invented 5,000 years ago, along with Cam. Let's see, some of the cheers we had back then. How am I going to translate this one?
Well, let's hear it in the original language first.
Oh, ich bin da im Dingen da, aber die Hände bara, du berhalt die Kehl, andere so hell. Andere so hell, die Kiebe hell, aber du, aber noch kus die Dingen kann der Bande hell.
Wow, it sounds similar to our own. What does that mean?
You want the whole translation?
Well, please, if you could give it to us, we'd
The whole full translation to that.
if you don't mind.
Go red, go, go blue, go. Go red, go, go blue, go.
Wow.
That's basically the whole trend. Yeah, well, it's a long sentence.
Uh-huh. Tell me, did you have swimming back then?
Yeah,
That was one of your activities?
basically.
Ooh, very interesting. Was it just like our swimming?
No, we had the dangerous lakes in those days. We didn't have a pool, we had a lake. There were dangerous snakes in those days. I mean, in those days, lifeguards really had to work. Well, we had snakes. Now, of course, if the lifeguards really didn't do a good job, we threw them in with the snakes, and that was the end of them. But
wow, that practice, I think some people would like to repeat, maybe.
Eventually, they can probably reawaken. We can throw some snakes in the pool and see what happens.
Well, what can you tell me about, I imagine you had something like Shabbos mirrors then. Was it basically like ours today?
Yeah.
No different. Sing the same songs, have a guy up there, and
Yeah, the same guy.
Attempted to lead it, and
Basically, we're saying the same old songs, the same song, over and over again.
over and over.
Same song, over and over again.
The same song.
Yeah, that same song, the same song, over and over. That's the one we're saying.
One of those. And tell me, how was laundry back then?
Laundry.
And these days, people seem to complain a lot about it. I mean, I don't know if these complaints are justified, but maybe you could tell us a little bit about laundry back then.
This was about 5,000 years. They didn't have machines 5,000 years ago. They had to use the stream, which was a lot tougher. They collected the laundry, and they had to bang it on the stream. Now, it was kind of strange. The camp we had a stream right in camp which we used, but I don't know, somebody else rented that out. So we had to send it to a stream somewhere on the other end of the world. We sent the laundry to some far out stream, and they banged it out there. But basically, laundry has been the same. It came out the same color, kind of gray and purplish or something. In fact, that was basically laundry in those days, which I think some of the laundry that we have in those days is still around here. Really? I've seen it around here someplace.
Get down! Get down! I'm telling you, Tony, get down!
Well, Tommy, did you have crazy people back then also?
Yeah, he was there.
Oh! Well, what can you tell me about rest period back then? I mean, did you do like the same type of things you have to understand, these days campers, during rest period, they play with Game Boys and things like that.
We had the Game Boy. We went down, we had Game Boys in those days also, sure. We went, one of our favorite activities was playing Tetris.
Tetris? You had Tetris back then?
Sure. But of course we did the real thing. We used to stand at the edge of a cliff and drop these different color rods, different shape rods down, and then, see if we can get a full line. And now the Game Boy's job, he stood at the bottom of the cliff and had to push away every time there was a straight line, he pushed it away.
Well, what happened if he couldn't push it away in time?
Well, we had quite a few Game Boys in those days. We went through them quite often.
Sounds very fascinating.
Well, those were the ex-lifeguards.
Oh. Well, tell me, did you have something called cleanup in the night? Then you lived in caves, but, I mean, was there a concept to clean up the cave then?
Of course. And didn't want to have any dinosaurs in there, Clean up the show, we had clean up.
Was there inspection even?
Oh, we had it, yeah. There was an inspector general. He came by, drove us nuts, made sure every single thing was over there. I don't know. We had a song back then with cleanup.
A song?
Yeah, we had a cleanup song. I could sing it. That one I could probably translate it.
Well, yeah, please. I'd love to have you. Wow, can you really sing that song for us back then?
Yeah, I think it applies these days also. I'm not sure. I mean, I remember way back when these papers should be old and yellowing, but they've been instead just as preserved as I am. Almost pickled, in fact.
Maybe you can even play it on the keyboard?
Well, we can try it. Let's see. Is there a keyboard here?
Yeah. By coincidence, seems to be one right over here.
Well, let's see what we can do.
Yeah, maybe I'll give you a hand there. I seem to have a lot of experience knowing how to walk in these things. There, slow.
Maintaining
I wouldn't want any accidents.
Maintaining your sense of balance seems to be natural to you.
You okay there?
I'm okay.
Okay.
How about you?
Me? I never fall for these things.
Well, is that your work over there, or is that one of those non-functional ones? Of course, they can't reach it. In those days, they used to reach chairs.
Oh yeah, you already told us about those chairs during Color War.
Yeah, we had chairs during Color War. We sat on them too.
You sang in the chairs?
No, we sat on them. We sat on the chairs.
Oh, you sat on the chairs. You do know how to use that instrument over there. That's called a keyboard. You sure you're young enough? I mean, you sure you're capable enough of playing that?
We had something similar where I came from.
Similar to a keyboard?
Yeah. It's a little bit harder to work with. Batteries. Let's see what we got over here. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Sounds like the ancient Peruvian chants of the Peruvian Indians. Oh, I like that sound. Tell me, what did they make this thing? It plays by itself.
I don't think it's 5,000 years old.
No? It plays by itself. I don't need to play it. I like that, yeah. Oh, music's too loud, they say, so lower it. Make it a little lower. A bright and friendly morning, what a great time to have some fun. But as a counselor I hear the warning, before breakfast there's work to be done. So every bone in my body starts shaking, and I break out in a cold, cold sweat. All my muscles are tired and are aching, and I haven't started cleaning yet. I've got the here comes cleanup blues. Every counselor's gotta pay his dues, but my heart is pounding as I see my mom. Who's gonna clean up all that junk? I've got the here comes cleanup blues. There's the next stanza. I got to mop up, no, that's not what it is. I have to neaten up each and every cubby. I gotta mop up that leak from the drain. I'm getting to feel as old as my puppy. My lazy campers think I'm insane. And when I'm finally done with all the sweeping and sit down for a 2-minute break, some kid with a super soaker marches right in and turns the floor to a big lake. I've got the here comes cleanup blues. Every counselor gotta pay his dues. But my heart is pounded as I see my bum. Who's gonna clean up all that junk? I got the here comes cleanup blues. Oh, that's one. Here we go. I haven't even mentioned doing laundry. There's really not too much I can say. Our clothes are divided into colors and whites, but it all comes back purple and gray. There's one more thing that's really quite confusing, and the answer to this question I request. Everyone cleans so hard to get 6 straight 10s, but there's no winner to the cleanup contest. I've got the here comes cleanup blues. Every counselor's gotta pay his dues. Oh, where's the other answer is? I like to lay down my mop and rest my back. As Mrs. Messing says, this isn't the homo whack. I've got the here comes cleanup blues. Now there's a wonderful. Now the purpose of the song is not to question why cleanup must actually be. I know that it's not just to pass inspection, but we're stuck here till the inspector sets us free. All I'm asking for is some cooperation. Let my Tracy and my campers lend a hand. If I'm a bit too quick to show frustration, perhaps the song will help them understand. I've got the here comes cleanup blues. Every counselor's gotta pay his dues. And I can't find the next part of this. There it goes. I've got the here comes cleanup blues. Hey, every counselor's gotta pay his dues. All that junk, and that's the here comes cleanup blues. Well, that's the song they sang 5,000 years ago. I don't think it's changed since then.
Wow. Well, let me just ask you a few more questions. Looks like the evening's winding down.
Winding down,
So,
yes.
boys. Well, what can you tell me about some special personalities in camps back then? Is anyone who really stood out in your mind? I know it's been a long time, but perhaps you can remember back then.
Well, there was a guy who ran all the sports stuff. They called him the commissioner back then. Other personalities we had, well, we have all the other personalities. I don't know, what other personalities did we have back then?
Well, what do you have in terms of something like a head counselor?
We had that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, what was back then?
We
Probably
had head counselors back then also. Told stories every Shabbos. And the only thing we couldn't get over was needed help with the every lunchtime he instituted this thing called like a riddle challenge type of thing, which he kept on losing, unfortunately. Never had a riddle yet that has really stumped the crowd. Has they still do that today?
Yeah, basically.
But camps haven't changed in those days, basically.
Well, I think the audience is really curious about your past experiences. So I was wondering if maybe if you wouldn't mind, maybe we could have 1 or 2 questions coming from the audience.
1 or 2 questions from the audience? Okay, fine.
Raise your hands. Anybody have any questions?
Anybody has any questions?
Just 1 question.
What? Okay.
Okay, Joey Bull. You have a question for the world's oldest camper.
How are the toilets back then?
How are the toilets back then?
We didn't have any. It was basically between two caves there was a bush, which was badly maintained and had to be mopped, which wasn't mopped.
I think we have a question from back there,
From way back.
from Mr. AM back there. Perhaps you can speak up. You have to say this man is not so young. He shovel herring.
What?
Are you hungry?
Of course.
Wow.
He wants to give me 2 hot dogs again. 5 more minutes.
Well, just one more question from back there. Sir,
Shasta back then?
do they have Shasta back
We
there?
invented Shasta back then.
Oh, those are the bottles that we're drinking. No wonder they're so flat.
Those are the ones that we had from back then. We never drank them. We never touched them.
Well, let me just ask one last question here. One last question here. I'm afraid we don't have much time from the audience, but one last question here from the host. Perhaps you could tell us, what is the real secret of your survival? Was there any exercise you constantly did, or maybe something that really kept you alive all these years?
Jogging.
Jogging? You were jogging every day?
Yep. I go jogging with my father every day. I still do it.
With your father? He's alive?
Yeah.
Well, I bet you were the world's oldest camper.
Well, you thought wrong. What?
Did you get yokes back then?
Of course. We invented yoke back then, along with Shasta.
Oh, yeah. Take credit back, please.
Well, I thank you for having me.
Well, the evening was very interesting, and we
Thank you
appreciate
for
you coming
having me.
here. We know you waited for many thousands of years to come here, and I think we have some other programs. Perhaps Mr. Schwartz can tell us about them.
Wonderful.
Let's give a hand to the world's oldest man. He also has the world's oldest jokes. Okay. Anyway, I got him from him. He gives me all my jokes. The world's oldest jokes. Okay. Anyways, now. Right now. We're all tangled up over here. Anyways, right now, Camp Chaverim, we have a very special treat. As you know, here, Color War only lasts 1.5 days. But in most camps, we have a much longer color war. Sometimes they have more color wars that even go 2 or 3 weeks. But in those long color wars, some people have war all summer. Anyways, but there's something in camps called a grand play. And the grand play is usually put on like the second night or the third night. And what they do is they have the theme of the team and they make a serious play about it. So what we wanted to do is, since we all missed out on the grand plays, we have a number of very talented staff members who have decided to put together the grand plays for both teams. They're very kind, and I will be announcing the final scores after the grand plays. Revised final scores. Okay? In order to make things move very quickly, we're going to narrate the boring parts. Okay, we're going to narrate the boring parts. And now Camp Chaverim, the grand play for the team of Yira, the team of Blue, the grand play, starring all our wonderful Blue team members.
And red. Bitch is on red. Bitch.
It's colorblind.
It all began many, many years ago. It was just the beginning of Yom Kippur. It was just the beginning of Yom Kippur. And they were in the middle of davening. And they had just gotten to the most important part of davening, where they say, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso Leolam Voed, out loud.
Yes? see, I was at Camp Aguna, and there's no room there. And we were sitting with the marshmallows, and they got so close to the campfire that they all melted. So now they're fluff.
Well, you can't have any anyway.
Nice toga. Give me some marshmallows.
I got this from Joe Finkel when... My laundry came back like a week late, and I had nothing to wear, so he gave me this that I could wear. And you can't have any fluff.
Yankel wanted very much to have a sniff of the snuff. I think fluff. And up in Shemayim, a terrible tumult arose. It was decided in Shemayim that instead of Yankel being the poor man, he would now change and he would become the rich man. And instead of Yankel, instead of Shmerel being the rich man, he would now be poor. That would mean that Yankel would have to go around as a rich man with money, and poor Shmerel would have to go begging from place to place. And Shmerel didn't know what to do. He had never done that in his life. How do you go and you beg? How do you go and you ask? It troubled him very, very much. He did not want to be a poor man. He wanted to be rich again like before. Of course, Yankel was now rich and important. Shmerel decided he's going to ask the great tzaddik of Altapala to find out what he could do to straighten out his situation.
Have a seat.
I don't have any money.
No money? Why not?
I lost it.
I know this great Meshulach in Yerushalayim. Give him $5, he'll give you the world. But just don't do any deals with any truck drivers. They're ruthless.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny. As soon as I lost all my money, he got all his money. Remember that portion? He got all my money, I think.
Maybe it was something he ate.
What can I do?
Think, was there anything that happened to you in the last year?
Oh, of course! I know what it was. On Yom Kippur, when we were saying the Hafta, I had fluff, and I didn't give him any.
You know, I think your problem is because you didn't give him any fluff.
Really?
They don't call me the Great Rebbe for nothing.
How could I get back my money, you think?
Well, I was just reading up on that last night. 1 second. Here it is. It says that if you go to him and ask him for some fluff, and he says yes, tough luck. But if he says no, you'll be rich again. Just give me 10%.
Yankel waited and waited for the first opportunity when he would be able to ask for that little bit of fluff. It all happened when Shmerel was making a chasana. All the biggest rabbanim were there. They all gathered together to come in to Yankel, for Yankel was now one of the richest people that there happened to have been in town. And they were all gathered. You had hundreds of people gathered in the Royale and in the Snoyal and all the other places. And everybody was dancing along. And finally it came the time to be the chuppah. Everybody was sitting in the chuppah room, looking out the window at the chassan and the kala in the rain. And just then, Shmerel came in.
asking all judges to score their cards before the second play goes on. That was the team of blue, the team of Call of Israel Fluff. Yes. Danny Schottenstein. Who? Judy Kay. He's still staying, right? Judy Kay, Nathan Lever, and Danny Schottenstein from the greatest city in America. Please go to Evanescent. Okay. That was the team of blue. We now, just like the team of red was quiet for the team of blue, we expect the team of blue to be quiet for the team of red. They are now going to present the grand play worth 1,654 points. We now present the team of Ahava, the team of red with their grand play.
Rafi, bring them back to the kitchen. In old Yerushalayim, there lived a young boy named Yossi. Yossi was of a very poor family. His tati and mommy didn't have 1 penny to use. Every time they went to buy something, Yossi would always eye the storekeeper. He wanted very much. There was something he wanted. And his tati didn't have any money for it. His tati used to save every penny that he could have for the time when he had to marry off his sister. He saved himself up enough money that he had 1 golden Napoleon, and he had put it away in his drawer. Yossi used to eye that golden Napoleon. He wished he could take that golden Napoleon and buy what he wanted most. Lollipops. I wish so much I'd be able to have just 1 sip of Shasta Cola. Just 1, it would be so nice. Get it? I think maybe if there was some money, I saw my father had some money saved away. Yossi carefully snuck in to the bedroom. He tripped over something. It's the cat! What was that? He got into the drawer and he managed to find that 1 coin. He carefully put it into his pocket and his mother suddenly heard a noise. What's that? Of course.
Nothing. And I don't have any hands in my pocket. Nothing. I don't have anything. I think I'm gonna go around and see Rachamim, the Shasta Cola dealer, to see if I can get 1.
He walked down to the shuk, down under the mountains, deep down, and he came to the shuk, where there was an old man.
So Shasta Cola. So Shasta Cola. However, there is fun, there's always Shasta Cola.
But can I buy it, Shasta Cola?
Sure you can, sonny. There she blows.
Here's money.
Thank you.
He carefully took the lollipop and he put it in the soda and put it into his pocket. He tried to make sure that no one will see it. Meanwhile, back at home,
Yossi's Tati went over to the drawer, and he was looking. He pulled it out to look for his tefillin, and he noticed that something was missing.
Oh no! My golden Napoleon! The Chaverim money! It's gone! Oh no! Oh no!
Hi, Tati. How are you?
Terrible!
Why? I had such a great day in yeshiva.
You have that $100 Chaverim money bill?
No, what are you talking about?
What's that in your pocket?
Nothing. Is there something sticking out? There's nothing there. What do you mean?
Okay, it's okay, Yossi, fine. How was your day?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I stole the Chaverim money. You what? You know the $100 bill that they minted only 6 of?
Only 6 off the bed, Mr. Bump got 1,000.
I don't know.
A Shasta Cola? You could have bought Coke. What, a Shasta Cola? Okay. You know this is a message, but come on.
Free canteen. I still pay.
Are you Jewish? Yeah. Beautiful rich.
Yossi's Tati decided that he's going to have to go over to the Shasta Cola salesman and get the golden Napoleon, the Chaverim money, back from the salesman.
Are you the Shasta Cola seller?
I'm the Shasta Cola! I can steal your money! I can steal your money! It was him, not me, not me, not me! I can steal your money!
Yes.
No, I didn't! Not me! I can steal your money! Not me!
It was decided that the only way they can decide what to do is they're going to go over to the Beis Din, where the great Rav was sitting to ask him Shaila.
Rabbi, before we start, where do you go? Yes. Excuse me, sir. My name is Rabbi Berkowitz. What is your problem? He stole my money. Did not. Did two. Did not. Did two. Did not. Did two. Did not. That's good, teacher. I don't think so. We don't do that. This is you thinking. What we have to do, you really want to clear to pay the money. You have to swear.
I can't swear! My daddy told me never to swear. I can't swear. I'm not doing that. Please, no.
You will have to pay the money.
Well, now, hey, well, that's where.
Every cent.
Cent.
Can't get up my house.
The money. There. Money. There. Are you blind?
Well, there was no choice. He had paid the money. And Yossi's Tati was happy. He came home. Of course, the salesman wasn't too happy. There wasn't much he could do. 3 years passed. And after 3 years... 4 years passed.
We didn't get a chance to practice this part. We only had 10 minutes. So never had 10 minutes, man.
After 4 years, a strange thing happened.
It was a dark and stormy night.
It was a dark and stormy night. And there was a knock on the door.
It's hot dogs.
another knock on the door.
Who goes there?
Hey, it's Red Rainbow from next door.
No! I stole the money! I took it! No!
You stole my money? My money? You stole?
I stole your money! I stole your money!
Cut! That's too happy. You gotta be fair.
As the judges are doing their points, we're getting ready to announce again the winner of Color War. But there's one thing I'd like to say beforehand, that for all the staff, there's one thing I'd like to wish all the staff. Lishana Haba Bir Yerushalayim. I just made up the scores. 1 second, I just finished making up the scores. They're in. Yeah. Audit the judges.
The judges want to do their own act.
I made up the scores. Oh. Audit. Audit, before we announce the scores, once again. Presentation. Guys, ready to rock? If a beam falls down, I pay. Ready? If you know the words, sing along. If not, sing along anyway. You don't get points. And watch where you're punching. C16, huh? We'll try whatever key we've got. Chaverim. Thank you very much. And the winners are all the campers and Jim Chaverim. I would like at this point that the younger divisions please go with their counselors and junior counselors back to their bunks. We're having a meeting for all counselors and junior counselors and unattached staff at 11:45 tonight here in the dining room. Thank you.